Oh, hello, hello. Here's another progress update for my Scrum Master agent and the MCP tool server. I made a lot of improvements to it. As you can see, the backlog now is quite clean, has a lot of metadata, and now tickets have dependency relationships. These are all created, well, I guess assisted with the AI. Um, Now, I'm going to test if it can plan the next sprint for me because the current sprint is over, right? So let's do this. And also the AI's been like inflating my story point. Like look at this, 100 and fucking 39 story points for just one person in 1 week. That's fucking bullshit, as everyone might know. But the AI actually does flag that a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is, oh shit, no. What I'm gonna do is, actually, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll use this prompt. I'm gonna let it help me. Well, no, first review uh current sprint. After after that, help me plan for sprint three. I want to prioritize delivering the MCP tool service modernization epic and the portable server booster epic, but I have limited capacity. Uh, the current sprint velocity is um inflated due to scope creep. Give me your assessment and recommendation for what could be uh, squeezed into the next. Now that's a pretty dumb prompt, but that's how you stress test the AI. Now it's gonna, yeah, use Scrum Orient to get the board metadata. And I'm using DeepSeek Flash for this one because I just wanted to get this fast. Because if I were to use my Frontier model, it takes like forever, but it still does function really well. Um, but B, DeepSeek is in pretty deep discount right now. Okay. Although DeepSeek kind of sucks when it comes to the token or yeah, context optimization. Because they use so much context for no particular reason. I think my Frontier model is like way more functionally optimized. Okay. Getting the burn rate, getting the history, getting the backlog. Now this epic is quite important because this one is like a architectural overhaul. So a lot of the terminologies or the tool surface I'm using right now is a bit misleading, which confuses the AI, but also makes the implementation just a bit more expensive in terms of API calls that it has to make. So I want to make it straightforward. This is what it's doing, but it has to go through the entire layer of the architecture. The portable server bootstrap is really needed for making this server MCP like usable in any other AI interfaces. Right now, it's only usable within its own source code, since I'm calling the Dino start or task start like directly. Okay, now let me examine the key backlog items. Okay, so it's even analyzing the scope creep, because I mentioned that. Well, I just wanted to say it was an anomaly, but I guess that's fair. And yep, now it's able to, fetch per epics and per label categories. And with this epic delivered, we should further enhance its capabilities with way less API calls. As you can see right now, like it had to go through several iterations just so it could get the epic name of the epic, even though when it called the get backlog uh, yeah, get backlog and get history, it should have already fetched all the information that it needed. So it did like double. There we go. Now it's gonna give me a recommendation, and then I'm gonna plant, or not plant. I'm gonna plan the next sprint. Scope creep confirmed. Okay, consumed 10 times the story points of Sprint 1. I mean, it's obviously it's more of a system issue because I didn't when I was working on Sprint 1, the AI was not capable of opening tickets. In Sprint 2 it was, and when it was capable, it went a little bit too fucking crazy. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that is not real throughput. There we go. It's item being created and immediately closed within the sprint. The scope categories confirm it. Yep. Dead code deletions, etc. Yes. Full, yeah, the full epic's worth of stories. At least four distinct epics worth of work was pulled into a single 6-day sprint. This is the scope creep. We identified burndown signal. Burndown was positive until day 5, where remaining points flatlined at 18 story points with zero movement. That day's completion batch came from the late arriving tech dead items, suggesting items were created and immediately closed near the sprint end. Okay, that's my ADHD talking actually. There we go. Which inflates the yeah. Okay, to be fair, it's not just AI's fault. It's my ADHD just like adding yeah new shit, changing new shit on the fly. The only reliable velocity data point is sprint one's 13 story points over 14. Yeah, no, that's way too. Yeah. I think you should have just used the average like of both sprints. Okay, so even with momentum, come on, I can do more. I mean, well, technically, I'm going to use AI, so I'm going to obviously do more than that. Okay, so that's 47 story points total. Okay, one, yeah, that's the gate. So priority, or sorry, the dependency systems. It recognizes dependencies, portable server bootstraps. Independent can, yep, good. Recommended sprint 3 slash. Must-haves. I mean, I think this capacity is way too undervalued. Let's see. I think I can handle up to, I don't know. Yeah, let's be more conversational. FYI, sprint during sprint one, the sprint where a the sprint refresh out. Well, then I can take you. Yeah, yes, your recommendations based on this, based on the new estimated capacity. Now let's see how it handles this. I'm not a good prompt engineer because I'm just not good at talking to humans. How do you expect me to, be good at talking to fucking machines? That changes the picture significantly. Let me reassess. Okay. Nice. It's fetching only the stories that it really needs. And when it calls this get story, it loads the entire body, like including the content, metadata, and comments. Of course, like the relationships as well. Well, I think the relationship is called with just a shallow metadata listing. Also, I didn't even know like GitHub had this kind of feature until I started like really digging deep into its APIs. It's pretty comprehensive. No wonder why GitHub is like always down nowadays. They have way too many features, way too many users, and a shitty parent company. Okay, so with the 69 SP as a new capacity, uh, okay, Sprint 3 is calibrated for commitment discipline, which I feel like sound is the same thing, but okay. Understanding what changed. So, yep, Sprint 13 was an artifact of tooling limitations, not team throughput. Sprint 2 proved the tooling works end to end. So, yep, 69 is a reasonable calibration commitment, enough to test plan discipline without being trivial. Okay, so it actually gives me a dependency map of this. How cool is that? Like, gives me a dependency map. I wish it used mermaid, but I guess an ASCII diagram is like good enough. Okay, so let's see. Uh, so yeah, this one, 140. Yeah, this one has to be finished first because this one has a very long fucking dependency line here. And okay, these are independent. Recommended sprint 3 plan. Core commitment would be 35. So these are sequenced by dependency. Okay. All right. So batch 4, template URI cleanup, should priority detective, sprinkle, deliver the foundational types and orient enhancements for the redesigned tool surface, ship a portable server binary. Okay, yeah, it got my intention fairly well. And prove we can follow this sequence commitment plan. Okay. Would you like me to run this? Okay, not yet. I think the plan is good. Let's see. Is this the content or yeah, is this the expected deliverables of the items you chose and tell me how the Scrum Master agent and MCP tool would change during the sprint. I want the sprint to also account for the changes that it is going to make to itself, which is a very esoteric thing to say, out of context. But literally, like I'm using this agent and the tool to manage its own features. Uh, so that's why I kind of need to know like what is going to be delivered, what features will be available, and what's not going to be available. And yep, look, it's actually looking into its own source code to see how the impact chain is going to look like. Now this is pure Scrum. This is like Scrum vibing. I think I'm gonna Scrum. Oh yeah, I'm gonna Scrum all over. It's not the story points that's rising. Something else is rising in there too, and it's not the national debt either. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, there we go. There's a result. So, now I have a clear picture of the code base and the ripple effects. This is a critical question about self-modification. The Sprint 3 item change the very tools the Scrum Master agent uses to manage the sprint. Yes, because it's going to be a huge tool surface change. So self-modification modification impact analysis. The core commitments 35 sprint story points contains items that remove or rename tools the Scrum Master self uses to run the sprint. This creates a sequencing constraint that the plan must respect or risk breaking mid-sprint operations. Okay, Okay, so for agents enrich data only. Subtotal remove tool scrims. Okay. Subtotal 12. But some are breaking shipping without replacements. Self modification problem. Here's the concrete issue for sprint 3. The Scrum Master agent starts the sprint calling this, yep, and to do its job mid sprint if, yep, okay, and now it's actually getting fun because now it understands exactly what, or quote unquote understands, what is going to change during the sprint while it works. So, okay, those tools disappear while the agent is actively using them. Yeah, so that's a problem. Resequenced recommendation. To make sure Sprint 3 is self-consistent, I recommend this three-wave plan. Okay. Add domain types and let's see. Orient enhancements. At this point, Scrum Master Agent still has all old tools, no breakage. Okay. Agent rules are updated, clean swap. Nice. So human readable item lookup, 154, right? So that's like, yeah, okay. But where is 144? Is 144 mentioned somewhere? No, it's not. Ah, okay. Yep, just one more. And I think it's the agent's gonna condense its own context later when it hits the 70% threshold. So another fast forward moment, but let's see. I want to prioritize delivering let's see for help so and me with okay. Okay. The 69 SP capacity still holds. Actually, how much is the total SP for these? That's 8 SP, 14. So yeah, it's still like 35 SP. Yeah, it's like nowhere near what the estimated, capacity is. This is pretty cool. Like I'm actually talking Scrum with an agent. I mean, this assumes like the story points are accurate, but I think this is like roughly, yeah, roughly true. At least based on like the size of impact. Okay, so there we go. Here's the recalibrated plan oriented around breaking fast. So clean swap. Yeah, ship the highest agent optimization items first, so that yeah, it actually knows what has the most impact in the agent behavior. So yeah, we can use it mid sprint and reduce the call count per operations immediately. Clean swap. Every removed old tool ships in the same yeah, deployment wave as its replacement. No breakage window. Yes, that's what I want. Um, and it's okay to have like old dead code as long as it works. Okay. First wave. Unblock everything and then biggest agent. Okay, so we're gonna work on this like right away after we yeah, add the domain types. Clean swap. Each old tool retires in the same deployment as its replacements. Great. Agent impact for phase 2. 7 read tools, 5 read tools, 1 resource. Agent uses new names. Yes, so from here it's gonna be like a full-on swap, and then orient enhancements. Huh, okay. This one I'm not sure if it actually would work because I thought this oh no, I guess it would work. Yeah, I guess it's not a like hard dependency. Never mind, yeah. Template URI map, active epic summary. Yep, this is good. I think it's reasonable. I'm not sure like if it actually would be happening. We'll see after we work on this, but look at this, like bootstrap config, polish. Yeah, so these are really good to haves. As a matter of fact, I might decrease the priority just so it's like not as essential. Okay, well within the 60, okay, 41 sprint point remaining. Yep, remaining 28 available for stretch. Good, good. What breakfast looks like in practice. When the first 1 to 2 work sessions of sprint 3, after blah 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 blah. Yes, I think this. Wait, you know what? Let me just increase the context window a little bit because I think if it condenses shit like in the middle of our conversation, I feel like it's gonna lose some detail. So hopefully this is not gonna. Yeah, hopefully this works. Okay, so I think this sounds like a good plan. Uh, I mean, this is just word salad at this point. Let me just enhance this prompt a little bit. Okay, so the sub AI, how are you going to enhance this? Implement the sprint call with the specify items, then document sprint goals and phase comments for affected. Affected, I guess, with an A was correct. Yeah, because it changes. The maintain utilize the provided code base context, including such as to inform the plan, ensure the plan respects sequencing or partially focusing. Okay, that's the thing with like using AI to enhance the prompt is like it becomes way too strict. Like I don't want it. I want a little bit of flexibility. Yeah, and expectations. But then should also like and sit with and on the refactoring documents, which the refactoring document is referring to this one, which is basically talking about like how everything is going to be redesigned from the ground up, like every tool surface from down to the expected types. I think the domain types are probably the most important ones to get down first because right now it's a little bit of a BS situation. All right, and let's see. Now you're gonna see this epic is now gonna disappear into the sprints. Okay, so it's committing everything. Although I don't know where the sprint goal goes because it's implemented on the surface, but I don't think like GitHub actually has like that kind of a documentation anywhere. Probably it just like disappears. Boom, disappeared. Yep, it's doing its shit. Now let's check the roadmap. Is it actually reflected here though? Okay, there's way too many tickets. I need to filter some stuff out. Mm. Okay, so sprint 3. These are all in sprint 3. Although like their deadlines are just set as like right away, but yep. Okay, it's adding all the comments. If I read one of these tickets, I think the comments should show up. I'm just gonna click away until like this ticket hits. Wait, what is this ticket anyway? Okay, no, this is like the last thing I would probably hit. The important ones. Get backlog, yeah. Yep, there we go. You can see. Yep, I'm gonna have to just like click this. Perfect. Now just one last thing I'm gonna do. So check if the dependency relationship between the items correctly reflect our implementation sequence. If not, add the yeah, add the dependence. Yeah, add the dependency. Doesn't I don't spell it right anyway, doesn't matter. Add the dependency to them, add a comment explaining the rationale of the linkage, then present me with the dependency graph for sprint 3. Okay, now this one is going to be pretty fucking complex, but I think it can handle it. I have trust in the AI now. I only have trust in it because I fucking designed it. I mean, I didn't train it or anything like I just augmented with domain specific knowledge and MCP. So technically speaking, I didn't really make it, I guess. I don't know, how do you define that? Like I consider using a AI model like using a framework for building a website. Almost. Okay, it's very different, but you get the idea. Okay, it has to like get the story again, so yes, approve. There we go. Oh, it's already using like 80% of its context window. Once it hits 90, it's gonna condense, which is gonna take some time and a lot of tokens. Which, speaking of, 3 million, yeah, token sends. I mean, 3 million read, that's not bad for like this operation. But the API calls that's being made in the background, that's actually quite expensive. I mean, it doesn't cost anything per se. Probably that's the reason why I think I'm not helping with GitHub's stability issues because this is making a lot of API calls. So that's the reason why I need to implement this as fast as possible so it's more optimized. Because having a O of N complexity is just not something you want. Okay, check the remaining ones. Okay. Yep. Holy shit. That's a lot of blocked by. Yeah, it references items not in Sprint 3, which creates impossible dependency constraints. Okay, so it was smart enough to like figure that out. Great. So now it has like a rational order. You can see like ones that are not dependent versus ones that are dependent on another ticket. Great. Yep. Give me the full chain. Give me the full chain, baby. Verify 83 stale dependency. I think the dependency map is a little bit fucked because while I was implementing that system, like it was the agent went a little bit crazy. Yeah, stale dependency, but shipped in sprint 2. Okay, it's actually unblocked. Go. Dependency audit. Okay, corrections applied. Final verification. Yep, there we go. Ah, there's that beautiful, beautiful ASCII chain. Oh yeah, look at this diagram. Oh my God. This is yeah. I mean, you could have literally just used the mermaid diagram probably. That would like you cost less tokens, but doesn't matter. Okay, 140 like is a must do, but look at this beauty. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we got this independent. Yeah, so this one really starts the cycle for all of these here, and agent rules would be like the final, yeah, I think that's a rational decision. So agent behavior calibration would come last, and then MCP functionality comes first because agents are flexible enough as long as the model under like behind the inference is doing the inference is good enough. And I think so far, like I've tested with 45 billion parameter models, frontier models, and it worked well. Of course, like using cloud model like DeepSeek Flash, that's much faster and still functions the way how I want. So this is exactly what I wanted. It's just going to be better with the once this sprint is finished. Well, let's just hope that I can commit to it this time. Anyway, that's what I had to show. Thank you.